We are live. Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh. How's everyone doing? It's been a minute. I'm so excited to connect with you guys today. Today, we're talking about a topic that I've been wanting to do a video on for months. It's something that's been on my mind for so long. As you guys know, I've been a working makeup artist, a licensed hairstylist for the last 20 years, and I've worked on all sorts of sets, fashion, editorial, commercial, print, television. I've done some film. And one thing as a makeup artist that I can tell you is always on our minds is, what if I don't have the right product for the situation that I'm put in? Oftentimes when we go on set, we don't know who we are working with and we don't really know what we need, right? And there's sometimes where we have all ranges of skin color, from the lightest to the darkest. We have all ranges of ages, from kids all the way to 80s, mid 80s even sometimes. We have all different types of skin, combination dry, oily, and we have to have all of the products that work for absolutely everyone. So what happens over time as artists is we get really, really, really good at manipulating products so that we can have less things, but be able to do more with them. And so that's why I decided to do this live stream today, to show you guys how to do that from home so that you can own less things. Or if you're like me and want to own all the things, you can do more with them. So for this live stream, oh, there's everyone hopping in. Hi, guys. Hi, Barbara, Susan, Stacy, Elena, Lorraine, Petra. Oh, guys, thanks for coming in. It's so nice to see you. Let me get back to my story. So I want to tell you something else after that little rant about why we're doing this. So I was on YouTube a few weeks ago, and I just stumbled upon a video from a creator named Jody. And I clicked on the video. I was like, I've never seen this creator before. And I was so hooked on her content immediately. And then I went down the binge watching train, as we've all done. And I started watching more and more and more and more of it. And then I started putting her on my bathroom counter when I was getting ready in the morning, because I started to feel almost like she was a friend. She has this really genuine approach to beauty, this really authentic voice that doesn't feel scripted or over the top or loud or obnoxious. It really is like the most genuine vibe on her channel. So I decided to be that person and email her and reach out and see if we could connect and become friends as creators. And of course, we instantly connected, and I invited her here on the stream. So her name is Jody, and I'm so excited for you guys to meet her. Hi, Jody.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. That was such a wonderful introduction. And I have to say, the second part of that story, you guys, is when she reached out to me, I honestly thought I was being punked, because if you're a creator, and you guys all know, when you watch people on YouTube, you have sort of your favorites. Gabby's been one of my favorites for years. So when I got her email, I told my husband, I think someone's just pulling a prank on me. And it's not until we met live via Zoom that I believed that it was real. So I haven't slept, because this is like a surreal moment for me today to be with you, Gabby, and with all of you. So super excited to be here.
Well, like I told you when we were on Zoom, I was telling you, I'm like, just wait, because you're going to be huge. Like, as soon as I saw your content, I was like, this is the next big creator in this space. I really do believe that. I think that you're amazing, and I think you're so relatable but also aspirational. Like, you're really good at doing what you're doing, and I don't know, I just like adored you from the get-go. So I'm just so excited that my audience can meet you on my platform, and then they can go and follow you too.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited. I've met some of your subscribers. They've already come over and introduced themselves. So looking forward to meeting everybody else. So really excited about today, because you have some of the best ideas ever.
Yeah, I have too many ideas. Sometimes I'm like, I'm so like idea spazzy. Let's start first before we get into our tips, you guys. And I have so many, like I made notes. That's how excited I am about this video. But I kind of want the audience to get to know you a little bit and your story, because I've been reading about you, and I know that you were an executive and you decided to change career paths a little later in life. And this is something that holds a lot of women back. Like, I'm 45, I can't make a change now, or it's too late for me to do something new. So what was that story for you? Because I think it will be really inspiring to the women watching.
Right. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I started my career early on as a recruiter and worked my way up to be the president of a US, a global corporation, but I ran the US operations. So pretty 27 offices. We ran $250 million. It was a really big role and I absolutely loved it. It took me 27 years to get there. And I started selling Mary Kay when I was in my early 20s. So that's where my sort of tingle for makeup started, but it wasn't enough to earn an income as I was, getting married and starting an early career. And then COVID hit and I was 51 in 2021 and COVID hit in 20. And during that time, we had to go through a lot of layoffs and we, like a lot of people, we had to restructure. But then at the end of that, I was able to sort of reflect on what being a corporate executive meant in the downturn. And I didn't really like what that stood for. And so while my story has a really positive ending, I think it was that nudge during the downtime when we had to lay people off and yet executives were still bonusing that I thought, if this is what being an executive means, I don't think this is for me. It's just, I didn't feel good about what I was doing anymore. And I thought, I'm 51. My whole name is on LinkedIn under one industry. Can I really do anything else? And what would that be? And I thought, you know what? I was really inspired by YouTube during that time because people were home isolated and the only connection they had with people was through YouTube. So I thought, well, I love doing my makeup. I love learning how to do makeup. So let me just start that. And if anyone wants to watch it, great. And if anyone wants to learn how our skin changes, because from 50 to 51, the difference in my skin and the difference in the way I had to apply my makeup changed so dramatically that I had friends just asking me all the time, what do I do now that my eyelid's a little more droopy? What do I do with this jowl part that now seems to, gravity has added a half of an inch to the lower half of my face? So I'm like, hell, I don't know, but let's figure it out. I will take classes, I'll learn, and then I'll teach you guys. So that's kind of how it started. And I have just loved it. The community and interacting with women across the world that are just looking for tips and tricks on how to do their makeup different. It has made the transition from an executive to a creator. I'm doing this job for all the right reasons. And I think I did my executive job, not for the wrong reasons, but I didn't know the reasons. I just kind of did it. And now I'm very intentional and purposeful in the work that I'm doing. And it just feels so much better. So I love it. It's very humbling for sure. But when you get to do creative live streams with people like you, it's so worth it. And then the people that I've met, the women that I've met across the world, it's like, I'm inspired every day by their stories.
It is an amazing career. Lori just said here, I was in upper management job and it's brutal. The corporate environment is rough at times. So happy I'm done with all of that. Yeah, it can be really difficult. And the creator economy is, if any of you guys are watching and you're like, man, I want to do it, but I don't know if I can, or I don't know cameras, or I was the same. Like, I was a makeup artist. I worked behind the cameras. I got people ready for the camera. I was not an on-camera personality at all. And if I can do it, you guys can do it. And Jody too, she was figuring it out. You don't have to be like a professional artist. You don't have to be, you can just be yourself, and people that connect with you, and it can change your life. Like, it completely changed my life. I'm sure it's changed your life too. So
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because one of the greatest lessons I've learned in making that transition is in corporate, you have to be, especially in an executive role, you've got to, everything you say has to be punctual. Your suits have to be, always ironed. Your hair has to be a very corporate look. You almost have to have the pearl necklace on. And it took me about a year of being on YouTube to deprogram myself from that mentality and I think to this day, I wear my hair long just out of spite, because now no one can tell me I can't, because I don't have to fit a corporate image. I can fit the image of what I want 55 to look like. So it took a little while to deprogram the structure. And I got a lot of feedback in the beginning from people who just said, you seem so stiff. You don't seem comfortable. And I'm like, gosh, but I am. But it took a while to know that you can just be yourself and you don't have to be on point, and every word doesn't have to be punctuated correctly. And it's freeing. And I think that comes along with age too, right? The older you get, the less you feel like you have to try to fit into a box. I think
Yeah.
it's just been, yeah, I think freeing has been the best word that I can think of. That, and you hear that from elders. They're like, I just don't give a crap anymore. And you're like, one day I'll get there.
I know, even things like me, things that I've been feeling too. It's been an evolution for me as well, even with feeling like I needed to be perfect on camera or like I couldn't be myself. I really struggled with that for a long time. To be honest, I still do at times. Like when I'm editing videos, I'm like I've been deliberately leaving in mistakes because I think it humanizes us and it helps people connect with us. And even today, I'm not wearing, I have eye makeup on, but I didn't wear any base makeup so that I could show you guys some of these techniques. And, you know, even a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, like there was no chance in hell I was going to be on camera without makeup on. Actually, when I started my channel, I always used to wear lighter contacts because I felt like I looked prettier with these lighter contacts. And for a long time, I felt unbelievably uncomfortable wearing my dark brown, like my natural dark brown eyes, because I'm like, well, people won't think I'm as pretty and they won't follow me. And how silly is that? Because the less you do that, the more people love and accept you and want to be a part of your community. The more you become like this perfect doll, like archetype with perfect makeup and perfect hair, the more people are like, I don't like that person. You know, it's
Right.
gotta like shake it off, like shake it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Just do a little dance and be like, this is how I'm showing up in the world. It's just, it's me and it's the best I got. So we're just going to go with it. And I'm hope people that'll love it, love it. And these people that don't, it's okay. I'm just not for them.
Totally. And people that leave hate comments will get blocked. I'm just kidding. All right, let's get started, guys. Let's get started. So, Jody, can I go first?
Yes, please go right ahead.
Okay, so one technique that I want to teach you guys is actually bronzing from within. I've talked about this in 2 different videos and I've gotten a lot of comments about people really enjoying that. So if you are in a rush, you have 5 minutes, you want to get out the door, you have to go to work, you have to take your kids to school, whatever, and you want to still look presentable, but you need to do it super, super, super fast, like 5 minutes and under. One thing that's really good to do is to not skip bronzer, because bronzer just makes you look so much better, but to actually use bronzer in your moisturizer. So I'm going to show you how I do that, and I'll show you a few different products that are really good for doing that. So this is the Typology T34. It's the bronzing drops. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. This brand is really cool. This is a French brand. They make amazing skin tints, skin serums. It's all tinted skincare. It's not actually makeup. They say it's not makeup, it's tinted skincare. It's a very, everything has a very sheer finish, but they have some really unique, very cool formulas and very cool products. You guys should go down that Typology rabbit hole. So their bronzing drop is amazing. I'll show you how I use it. But if you're on a budget, because Typology is a little bit pricey, you can also get the e.l.f. Skin bronzing drops. It works in the exact same way. This has more of a matte finish. This has a little bit more luminosity to it, but it's not too much. Or you can get something like this. This is the True Botanicals Bronzewell Regenerative Glow Drops. So this is an oil. So if you have very dry or dehydrated skin, all you have to do is shake this up and you can use it completely on its own. I'll show you guys how it goes on. It's a very, very cool product. I got this in PR and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really neat. So it looks super dark, right? But if you use less of it and you rub it in well, it turns into the most beautiful bronzy glow ever. Or you can use it if you don't want to use it on its own. See, I always get this comment on my videos like, what are you wearing on your chest? What are you wearing on your chest? Most of the time, I'm going to be honest, it's sunscreen. And that's like a celebrity makeup hack. Whenever I was getting like people ready for red carpet events or whatever, I would often just put a ton of sunscreen on their body because sunscreen's really shiny. And I would mix it with like a luminizer or a bronzing oil, and they would look really glowy and really beautiful because of that. But this does it on its own, right? So this is really cool. Or you can actually mix it into your foundation. So I'm going to show you, do you guys want to see, do you want to see the e.l.f. one or do you want to see the Typology one mixed into my moisturizer? What do you guys want to see? Let me know in the chat. Whatever is going to be better for you, I will show you.
Now, Gabby, is that like a serum? It's beautiful, and I'm always envious when we're on Zoom of your skin. So now I know the secret behind what it is. So, and does it come in different shades, or is it that shade?
I believe, don't quote me on this. I'm not 100% sure. We can get Lori to Google it. Lori, can you Google True Botanicals? Lori's my producer. She's in the back end listening to everything, and she's my angel. She'll Google it. I don't know if it comes in different shades. This is the one that they sent me, but it's not a serum. It's an oil. It's actually an oil. So you
Okay.
can do like 1 or 2 drops in your foundation, mix it in. It has the most beautiful, like luminescent glow, or you can use it completely on its own. It's up to you.
God, it's
But it's
absolutely
very,
gorgeous. And you could see it just added a little bit of a little tan to you, as well as like a healthy glow to your skin. It was crazy.
yeah. And it's crazy because when you first put it on, you're like, too much. Like, you just got to work it in. You can even mix it with your moisturizer, and it is gorgeous. Like, it would even work on a much more fair skinned person. So I will show you, we have a lot of e.l.f. requests. e.l.f. is much more affordable than Typology. So let's do that. So, and also I have a video to show you guys Typology anyway. So what I do, I have a mixing palette here. This is something that I use all the time as a makeup artist. I would recommend you guys buy a mixing palette on Amazon. This is a glass one by Scott Barnes. I went to his masterclass last year and they gave it to us. But you can buy a metal one on Amazon. They're really inexpensive. You'll get a lot of use out of it. All you have to do is add a few drops of your tinted bronzer or bronzer, liquid bronzer, and then you add your normal daily moisturizer. So I didn't put any moisturizer on today, so I could show you. You can change the ratio depending on how bronze you want to be, right? So I put 2 drops plus my moisturizer and I mixed it. And you can see that I'm changing the color of my moisturizer, right? And then I'm going to go right on my skin and I'm going to really work it in. And basically what I'm doing is I'm giving myself a tan, but from within. Now, what I can do now after I do this, say, I have 5 minutes, I really need to go, I need to get my kids to school, whatever. After I do this, I can go in. So I'm looking really dark, but I can go in and I can brighten with my concealer, or I can quickly stipple a little bit of my foundation on top. And the tan looks like it's coming from underneath the skin. So it really looks like it is like, look at how tan my face has gone in like 1 second. It looks like I got a tan and then I'm
Wow.
working on top of my tan. So it's a great
Yeah.
little hack if you don't want to use bronzer and you want to look really naturally tanned.
I love that. Not only for vacation, but for summer as well, where you don't want to have to put on any more, but you need color to your face, but you don't want to add a lot. That looks like a no makeup look just with 2 products, just like that.
I know it's crazy. And I don't know if you're like me, but I am psychotic about sunscreen, like psychotic. So
Yes.
because of that, my face is always really white. I put
Right.
sunscreen everywhere, but I get more sun here. So I get much darker here and then I have a really white face. And this balances it out really quickly.
Yeah, I can see how well, and boy, and it just looks like a nice healthy glow, but it doesn't look too shiny or over dewy or anything. It's really pretty.
Yeah, really pretty. And that's the e.l.f. one. So that's something I always try to tell everyone on the channel. If you are on a budget, don't feel like you're not going to be able to achieve all of the things because drugstore makeup has come a really long way. It's not like the olden days with Maybelline makeup mousse foundation where everything was orange and awful. Like I remember those days. Drugstore makeup is amazing. So you can buy this for, I don't know how much this is, like $60, or you can buy this for $10. And as long as you know how to manipulate it, you'll get very similar looking results.
Now, Gabby, would you suggest that we start with double the amount of moisturizer, like a 2-to-1 ratio when you're mixing it to begin with? Or would you go 50-50 to get kind of the glow that you're looking for? Or is there, like, how would you start?
Yeah, that's a good question. So everything is custom. So it depends on how much I need to bronze in someone, but also their base layer. So I'm dark already. I'm a medium skin tone. Medium now I'm almost like medium dark skin tone. So I can go for it and it doesn't look crazy when I'm working on someone light skin. So let's pull up Laura's video. This was Laura. Laura's my friend. She's in her late 50s And so let's play that. You guys can see I use the SkinCeuticals cream on her and the Typology tinted bronzer. I mix it together. You can see because she's fair skinned, I used much less bronzer and more moisturizer to give her like that glow from within, but you don't want to overpower it and then have it not match the neck and be too much. So you just have to play with it depending on like your skin tone, but also your desired end result, what you're going to do next.
Okay. Yeah, and she's lighter skin than you, so you didn't add a lot of the bronzer, but it certainly gave her a nice bronzy glow.
Yeah, and if you guys will I'll pin that video in the pinned comment. If you guys actually saw that video, her skin, even after just the skincare before putting any makeup on compared to her before, it was a dramatic difference. And it was just from doing skincare and bronzing drops. It's crazy. It can almost act like almost like it will blur imperfections out. You know, like when back in the day when we used to tan and we were like 20 years old and super tanned and you felt like you don't even need foundation because you're so tanned and perfect looking, but it's like very bad for you.
Right.
That's kind of what this does, but in a way that it's not bad for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that is on my order list. I just added it to my cart.
Yeah. All right, Jody, what's yours? You go.
All right. So the first up for me is I loved good drugstore products, and there are, to your point, some really good ones on the market. And for those of you that have seen my channel before, you saw that this came out of just a moment of panic because I didn't have the product that I was looking for. But if you have not tried these Maybelline Express Brow, it is like a mascara, but it's a mascara for your brow. Now, I like it, because it's a very small tube, fits nicely into any of your travel, but it comes in different colors. I have it in this nice brown color. And what you do is you just go and brush up your brows. So just like applying mascara, and the look for brows now is a little bit more waxed and combed up, and it looks great if you're 20. It doesn't quite have the same look, at least it doesn't for me on my 55-year-old eyebrows. But what this does is it coats the hair so you get a little bit of a thicker look to your brows. But wait, there's more. The best part about this, if we're talking about expanding our makeup bag, is I needed a brown mascara that day for a tutorial. And I thought, well, let's just use this. You guys, this worked just as good as a mascara for my lashes as it did as a mascara for my brows. And part of it is because of that brush. It's very much just like a brush. I also found that because it's shorter, and I don't own stock in Maybelline, so I'm not, I know it sounds like I'm selling it. I'm not. There's a lot of really good points to this. The other good point to this is because it's so small, for those of us that are having a little more difficult time seeing and you need your mirror a little closer to your face, the smaller your handle or the smaller the brush, the closer to your mirror you can get with our aging eyesight and not be afraid of what your makeup's going to look like when you get away from the mirror. So I have really loved this. I was going to need a brown mascara. Now I don't, because I have a brown brow brush, and then I can just quickly go to my mascara. I do recommend that you wipe it like this before you put it on your brows, because unlike lashes, when lashes get a little clumpy, it's pretty easy to just pick off the clumps. When your brow hairs get a little clumpy, it makes a little bit more of a mess. So just clean your brush really nicely before you apply this to your brows. And then I just go in for a little bit more and do my lashes, and boom, 2 products in this little tiny one for, I think it's like $7. I'm not even sure, but it's under 10.
Jody, when you gave this tip in the video that I discovered you in, I was like, I've been around for so long, and I'm like, that is actually such a great idea. That was one of the reasons I was like, Lori, we got to contact this creator. She's awesome. I thought it was really smart. Like, fibrous brow gels are amazing. They are absolutely amazing for women who have low brow density. And that happens as we get older, right? Brow density, hair density, all of that goes down as estrogen levels change. It's a hormonal change that leads to that side effect. So I think it's really smart that you're using a fibrous gel to build the density. And also it hides any grays in the hair that kind of sneak in. But then to use it as a mascara is just so smart. And brown mascaras, I find, can be really flattering and often kind of overlooked.
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed as I've gotten older, I just the black mascara looks a little harsh unless it's a full glam, you know, a night out cocktail dress type of a affair. But day to day, I find that that brown just looks a little softer, but you can't really tell what it is that looks different, but the makeup just looks a little softer. So yeah,
Totally.
I really like that. So yeah, it's a great little hack and I've used it ever since and highly recommend it.
Yeah, awesome. Karina's asking, we can apply sunscreen after. I think this was for my hack with the bronzing drops. Absolutely. So the way that you want to apply skincare is from thinnest to thickest. So you could use a exfoliating toner or hydrating toner, whatever you have if you tone. Then your serums, if you do that, like vitamin C serum, for example, moisturizer mixed with bronzing drop would be the next step. And then your sunscreen, because it's the highest in density, would be your last step. So sunscreen is sandwiched between skincare and makeup. So always think of sunscreen like your salami. You have your skincare, your sunscreen, your makeup. So you can absolutely apply it over top of the bronzing drops. You'll have no problem. The one thing that I do caution with, and I see this sometimes, is doing like a bronzing drop moisturizer cocktail and then mixing that with sunscreen. I don't think you should dilute your sunscreen, and you need a lot more sunscreen than you think you need. I believe it's 1 tablespoon for the face, and maybe even I just did a video on this and now I'm like blanking on it, but you need, they say like 2 fingerfuls of sunscreen or 1 tablespoon, I believe. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but you need a lot. So I would definitely do your skincare, let it absorb for a second, then do like a substantial amount of sunscreen, more than you think you need, let it absorb, and then move on to your makeup products.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the rule of thumb I've always used too, is just 2 finger distance, 2 finger lengths full. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you started that, didn't you feel like this is outrageous? Like this is insane. Like it's too much.
I did feel like it was too much. And I just felt like I felt like I had so much extra. I always wear it on my chest as well. But yeah, I've checked with dermatologists and that's what they all say. So, and I freckle as I've gotten older. So I'm really careful to just lather it all on just as much as it'll take.
Yeah, you have to be really careful. And one thing that I've learned recently that makes a huge difference is after you put on your sunscreen, you want to wait 15 minutes. And especially if it's a chemical sunscreen, because that chemical sunscreen is going to create a protective film and then it's not going to feel as wet. So if you wait 15 minutes, your foundation will go on top much, 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 much better than if you apply it and then go right in with foundation. So what I do now is I'll do my skincare and sunscreen, then I'll do my hair, make my bed. I kind of leave the makeup part of my routine to as far out as I can get it. And that helps a lot. And you'll notice, like, you'll almost feel it when the sunscreen has had time to absorb properly and create that protective film.
That's a great tip because I don't think I wait that long. I'm certain that I don't. So that's a really good tip to just think about it as waiting for that sunscreen to set up and create a barrier before you put on your foundation. That's a really good reminder.
Yeah, and
I'll
you'll
think of you
notice.
tomorrow when I'm like, ah.
I know. Like wake up, brush your teeth, put it on, and then go do the thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, changing the
Who said I
routine.
need 5 more minutes?
I know it will make your foundation wear so much better after you do that.
Okay. Okay. Excellent.
All
All
right, you
right.
guys. My
Next
next
tip for
one.
you.
Yes, ma'am. So this is something that I did a lot on set, and it was manipulate my foundation to be different finishes. Now, the reason I had to do this is because foundation is very heavy and we need it in every damn color. So I was bringing like 50, sometimes 50 different shades to set every single time. So if I had something that was luminous finish, but I had an actress who was very oily, it was an absolute freaking disaster because then I would have to touch her up on set like 300 million times. I couldn't get the foundation to look perfect for as long of time as I needed it to look if her skin was oily, or vice versa. If I had something matte and I was putting it on someone dry, it looked crackly and cakey and wrinkly, and it was just a mess on set. But I can't bring every formula of every color on set. So I started manipulating textures of products. So I'll show you a couple of ways to do that. So this is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream Natural Matte Formula. This really is an actual matte formula. Some foundations say they're matte, but they're more like satin. You know what I'm saying? This is actually matte. Like this really doesn't have any natural skin-like finish. It will mattify. So it's really great for very oily skin or combination skin or someone that just really likes a mattifying finish. Now, what you can do, so say you have this and you wear it on super hot, humid days, and you wear it when you know you're going to be sweating, you wear it when you want really long wear, but then you're going to have a picnic, okay? And you're like, this feels like too much for the picnic. Do you have to have another foundation? No, you can actually manipulate the texture of it. So one way to do that is with liquid filters. I love liquid filters. The one I use all the time is e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. This comes in lots of different shades. It's amazing. You can also get this one, which is also really nice. This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. So it's a glow enhancer. Another one that's very popular that I used in my pro kit for years is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. That one's very popular among makeup artists. You can use this in so many different ways. You can use it under your foundation, so you can apply it like skincare. It will give a glow from within. You can apply your foundation and put it on the high points like a highlighter, but you can also use it as a product manipulator. Okay, so all I'm doing here is I'm taking that matte formula, which is right here. Sorry guys, this is glass. It's not as easy to see. It's like see-through. And I'm just applying a little bit. And again, Jody asked, like, how much to apply? Personal preference. Say you want something really glowy and sheared out, you can use more of this and less foundation. Say you want a pretty full coverage foundation, but you want a little bit of glow shining through, you can use a little bit less of this and more foundation. So you can start playing and experimenting. And the really cool thing is when you start doing stuff like this, you're able to use one product, but for every situation. So now, you want something natural, you got it. You want something full coverage, you got it. So you only have to buy, well, 2 things as opposed to like a million different, finishes for all the different reasons. So I'll put some of this on and I'll show you guys. I'm going to mix a little bit more of this. Has anyone used the IT Cosmetics CC cream before? Let me know in the comments.
I'm a big fan of it for sure.
Yeah, let me get you back on here. Well, yeah. So tell me, which one do you normally use? Because there's multiple different formulas.
Yeah, I like the CC cream, the IT Cosmetics CC cream SPF 50. I like it because it has that SPF in it, but I like a more full coverage, medium to full coverage. And it starts as a between medium and full, but you can build it without any problems on my more mature face without it really settling into fine lines and wrinkles, I have found. And it lasts all day. So if you're going to be, I use it if I'm going to be like at the TV station where the studio lights are really bright and hot, but I want full coverage. It's great for that. It's great for if you're out, at a barbecue or something where you're going to be in the heat all day. It just doesn't melt off. It just stays right in place. That's my favorite.
You're so right. It is an amazing formula, like for all of those things. I do find it very flattering on more mature skin. It's like a cult favorite in the mature skin community. And it's funny because I've told the story a couple of times, but for those of you guys who don't know, when IT Cosmetics was like a tiny baby brand, they came to Canada and they did the shopping channel and they actually hired me as their makeup artist. This is before anyone knew who they were. So I would work with Jamie and Paulo on the shopping channel. I did it for years with them. And that was when the only product they had was the eyebrow pencil. And then they expanded to Bye Bye Under Eyes. And then they expanded to a bunch of other things. And when we started, like when I started working with them, they would hire models who were just regular women on Kijiji. They would like post an ad, like looking for models for the shopping channel, but you kind of had to be a regular woman. And we would do these like extreme before and afters on the shopping channel with her products. And that was unheard of at that time because people would only sell cosmetics with models and people would tell Jamie, this is never going to work. If it's not like a beautiful, perfect face, no one's going to buy it. And she would use women like Mary Lou was one of my favorite models. I think Mary Lou must have been in her 80s. and she had bags and she had sun marks and skin discoloration, and she walked with a cane that she bedazzled in sequins. She was freaking absolutely fabulous. And we would do these huge before and afters on her, and we'd see like how Bye Bye Under Eye would settle under the eyes, and we'd see how it settled. And then Jamie would go and rework the formula. It was really cool being a part of IT Cosmetics in those really early days and seeing how she manipulated her products, because what they are now is so different from what they are then. And I think she really took an approach of like listening to the customer and listening to the woman and making it for them. So the fact that you said that, I'm like, that's so cool, because back in the day, like that's what Jamie wanted. Like she made those products for you,
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. What a great story that you got to see it from the very beginning stages of a brand to where it is now.
It was so crazy that when we first started on the shopping channel, because she was so like the brand was not known, we didn't even get a green room. So I would be doing the makeup. It was just me. I was the only actual makeup artist. And then there were some other people that did makeup too, but they were also models. So they would help kind of do the makeup, and they were models, but they weren't makeup artists. And we did it in the cafeteria, on the cafeteria tables. Like we didn't even have a green room.
That's
And
crazy.
look at her now, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, look at her now. It's wild. So she just blew up. But I knew
Yeah.
it was going to happen because I did not do a single shopping channel segment with her where she didn't sell out of every single product.
Wow, that's so crazy, because now you're right there. She has so many different foundations on the market now. It's hard to tell. And she's always coming out with a new one that's even better than the one before.
Well, she ended up selling to L'Oreal. I believe it was L'Oreal. So
Yeah,
she
I
stayed
think it is.
on for a while, but now she's not a part of it at all anymore. But the
Gosh.
foundations were there, like the core of everything was there when she was there. And man, did she ever build that into an amazing product line, but for everyone, from Mary Lou, who's like 80, to there were some models who were like in their early 20s, and it worked
Yeah.
for everyone. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that
Yeah.
story.
Lori's saying that she watched those early IT Cosmetics days. Oh my God, Lori, you have no idea. Being on set for that was wild. We would work for Showstoppers. I would get there at like 9 a.m. We would work until 2 a.m. Then I would sleep for like 2 to 3 hours. And then I would work another like 15 hours. It was just the craziest. It was so crazy. I remember those days like, oh my gosh, like a blur. Yeah.
Oh
So I'll
gosh.
show
And
you
now
guys. Sorry,
oh,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Jody.
No, I was just going to say, and now you can catch it all on there. I love watching those beauty segments sometimes on like the shopping channels, because they still have like the beauty hours and stuff, or I think they have Laura Geller does some stuff. I haven't seen IT Cosmetics on there for a while, but remember that was the only way we could really learn makeup tutorials. That's how I would try to learn stuff, is when QVC would have like their beauty hour and the makeup artists were showing how they did their brands. It's like, thought I was really learning a whole bunch of stuff. Now, thank gosh for YouTube.
I know. I loved it so much. And I remember like talk about being real and being comfortable in your own skin. Like Jamie had really bad, I believe it was rosacea. Yeah, it was rosacea. And she would come in no makeup. She had no brows. Like she had some brow like hairs missing, and she'd come in all red, and she's just so down to earth, and then she would go online or go on shopping channel just like as she was, and she'd say like, I have really bad rosacea, and she just was not embarrassed by it, or she just said like, I have this, and if you have this too, this is how we do it. And she would do it in real time, and it was like, oh my God. Now it doesn't seem like a big deal, but at that time no one did that. Like no one, so
Right.
it was like, holy smoke. So every single time we'd sell out, like boom, 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 we'd see the numbers, and it was really exciting. I feel really honored that I got to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well, and to see real women show real challenges, I think it was breaking at that time, because you just didn't see it, and you still don't see it nearly as much as we should. And I think women are sometimes the hardest on other women, but to say I'm going to go on TV with Rowasha and just show that this is what it is, I think it's so courageous. And hopefully now it's more comfortable for people to just be, because I saw an Instagram thing the other day and it said, the more perfect you look, the worse you look. And I thought if we could all just remember, like, that is just not the look. If we all look the same, the uniqueness is just lost. So I love it when people show some of their imperfections. And, I'm probably I say that, but I don't always do it either. Cause obviously I put on makeup today to cover up some of my own imperfections. But the other day I did draw on freckles because I hated freckles as a kid. I didn't like them at all. I had a lot of them. And the other day I'm like, I'm going to draw on freckles that I've spent 30 years covering up. And I loved my makeup look that day. So I just think embracing whatever it is that makes you unique is just so liberating.
Totally. It's so liberating. And it
Yeah,
connects you. It just connects you in a different way.
right.
It just allows you to create this friendship and community with other people that feel the same. It's really
Right.
nice. Yeah.
Right.
So let me show you guys real quick. I'll zoom in. So it's a little, I wish I could zoom my camera in, but I can't reach that far. So you guys can see. So look at how it's not matte. See, this was the IT Cosmetics CC Cream Matte, right? Just to reiterate. Before, this would have been a completely matte finish, like a flat finish. And then I would work to manipulate shadows by contouring, by adding highlights, all the makeup artisty things. But just by adding a little bit of this, I was able to turn it into a satin finish. See how that has a little luminosity? It's not a glowy finish. If I added more of this, it would be a glowy finish. I could get it to look just like those really glowy finish foundations 100% if I added more of this and less of this. But I was able to get it to a satin finish. So that's what I wanted to say in this section is don't be afraid of buying a texture that you wouldn't normally use, like matte, because you can buy this and you can create all the finishes. Satin glowy, really glowy, just by kind of manipulating the ratios that you're using these products together in. So that
I
is
love that because that Glow by Charlotte Tilbury, the one that you mentioned earlier, that product has always confused me. And I've bought it 2 separate times and I'm never really sure what to do with it. So I did use it as a highlighter because that seemed like the most obvious reason to have it. But it was a product that confused me. So I'm so glad that you just sort of said this is another way to use that product because I just wasn't sure the whole purpose because it was a really expensive bottle of highlighter. That's all you used it for. So you helped me answer that question.
Yeah, the best way to use it, in my opinion, and some makeup artists may think differently because makeup is so subjective, right? And artistry is subjective. But for me, I almost always use it as a mixing medium. And
Okay.
I'll also mix it in moisturizers if I want to look really glowy. Like I'll just squirt it in moisturizer and create like a really luminous finish. Like I'll put it on the high points, like collarbone. I'd put it a lot on my bride's collarbones and décolleté when they were getting married, and it just made like their face light up. It is a tricky product. I can understand why you didn't know where to go with it. The easiest way to use it is as a mixing medium.
Okay. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes total sense. All right. Perfect.
Yes.
It looks
Kelly is
gorgeous
saying,
on your skin.
thank you. Yeah. And now it's satin. I need powder and all of the things. It's not finished, but it gives you an idea of what you can do. So
Yeah.
Kelly's saying my first skincare purchase via an infomercial was Cindy Crawford's line. Yes. I love that.
Yeah, I forgot all about her line. Yeah,
Gosh, that was back in the day.
right.
All right, Jody, what do you have up next for us?
All right, so the next one might seem like right off of the bat an easy one, and that is setting spray. And setting spray we know is obviously very good to set your makeup at the end of your makeup process to make it last longer. A few other ways to use it, especially for those of us with more mature skin, is look for one that does not contain alcohol because like perfumes, anything else that has alcohol in it, hairspray, for example, that alcohol is going to dry your skin. So Costas has a new one called Cloud Set, and not only is it a setting spray, but I use these a lot for the application of my concealer. So I'll use the setting spray on my brush. Then I will apply my concealer right where I want it on my face. I will take that brush and just really lightly then pat in that concealer with the brush that has the setting spray. If you are like me and you've got wrinkles under your eyes and the addition of concealer makes that look a little more cakey, despite your best efforts of hydrating all the things we know we should do, I have found that this really works as you're pressing that concealer into those fine lines and wrinkles with the setting spray on your brush. The other key here is to use a small brush. You don't want to use too big of a brush when you're really nicely applying that concealer, because you want to strategically and with precision put it where you want it. But I have found that doing that with your setting spray on your brush works really well. The other thing that I love this setting spray specifically for, you guys, is it's a face mister. So if you have hot flashes or you go throughout your day and it's hot outside and then you're inside where it's cool, really being able to just refresh all of your makeup by a light dusting of a mist. And that's one of the things I love about it. The mist is so small on this. You don't feel like you've got big drops of moisture or liquid on your face. And if you wear a more full coverage foundation and you've made the mistake of using a setting spray that might leave bigger droplets of water, it's a very telltale sign. This works great if you have powder on your face, if you don't have powder on your face, however you leave your finish. The other thing I like about it is it doesn't change the finish of your makeup. So if you like a matte foundation and a matte finish, this does not change to a glowy or a radiant or a natural finish. The other is true too. If you like a more dewy, glowy finish, this helps with that. If you have oily spots on your face, for example, I'm oily in my T-zone, and I find that about halfway through the day, I'm more oily. If I just take a tissue and blot that and then add a little bit of setting spray as a moisture or a mister, it really helps to lock in that look. Setting sprays, I would just recommend. I like Kosas because it's considered a clean brand through Sephora, but it is one that does not contain alcohol. There's a lot of setting sprays on the market. So whichever one you use, just make sure that it doesn't have alcohol in it, but then use it for applying to your brush for your concealer application, as well as that mister, just to give yourself a refresh throughout the day, because it's more than just your final invisible shield as a setting spray. So I love that. And these come in travel size, so you can stick one. I have one in the door of my car. It's where I keep it.
Setting sprays are amazing. I have like loads of them right here too. Like loads. I love them too.
Do you have a favorite, Gabby, that you like to use?
I do, because, well, I'm very oily. So the one that I reach for more often than not is the Urban Decay De-Slick, because this is specifically for oil control. If I want a really beautiful finish on my foundation, I find that the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray by Charlotte Tilbury, I just picked this up. It's a brand new one. I think this is an amazing, I've gone through probably 20 of these. I use these more often than not on clients, especially if they don't have like a lot of oil problems. There's a brand new one by Huda Beauty. This one, Easy Bake. This is brand new. It's also alcohol free. It's a very unique one because it has rice starch. It also has niacinamide in it and hyaluronic acid. So you can just shake it up. I also think this one is a really effective formula too. And it's kind of unique. It's different.
Okay. All right. I've not tried that one. Okay. Perfect.
Have you tried this one, the vitamin C one by Urban Decay?
Yes. Yeah.
This one's hydrating. So it's different.
Yeah, it was really hard. I liked it. It was really hydrating. I felt like I wouldn't say I didn't feel like it dried down. I felt a little dewier than I wanted to with it. Yeah, but it was very hydrating. So if you've got dry skin, that's probably a really nice one to try.
Yeah, you mentioned you have oily T-zone, right?
I do.
Sometimes I find the glowier setting sprays, they're too much if you have an oily T-zone or really any oil at all. It's just a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, I think Gabby should do my makeup for me one day. What do you guys think? Give us a thumbs up in the chat if you think that's a good idea.
You guys, call me and I'll go. I'm getting on a plane right now. You do a pretty darn good job already, so I don't know if there's much improvement needed. Oh my gosh, Lori, thank you so much for sending a super chat. That is so thoughtful.
Oh, very nice.
What a great live. Thank you, Lori. That is so, so nice of you. You're one of the best live stream viewers. I just love you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. There's a lot of thumbs up. I love that.
I'm going, guys. I'm getting on the plane. You don't have to ask me twice. Anyone's like, I want you to do my makeup. I'm like, when? Let's go. Let's do it right now. Okay, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about foundation manipulation. Okay, so we talked about how to take a matte foundation and turn it into all different types of finishes by, putting variation into how much of a liquid filter you use. That was one thing that I did a lot on set, a lot. Another thing that I did a lot was sheer out foundations. So Estee Lauder Double Wear, a classic. Who's tried it? Put your hands up in the chat if you Jody, what do you think?
I am not a fan, and I don't say that very often, but I am not a fan.
Is it too drying for you?
You know what? I don't know if it was drying, but you know how older ladies that are on the chat will recognize this. You know, you've got some more wrinkles in your face, and sometimes you get more settling. I found that for me, it settled so fast that those lines just looked so much more pronounced after like an hour. So, and I've tried it because everyone loves it. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong with this foundation? And I just could not get it to work.
You're not doing anything wrong. It's the formula for sure. It's because it's so long wear. It's like, I would always say it's bulletproof, sweat proof, humidity proof. I would use this a lot if I was on set for like a 16-hour day. I needed the person to like not fall apart at all. They would stay the same the whole entire day. But when you have like high dry down formulas, you get issues with settling in lines. And if you have areas of dryness, it can be really problematic. Okay. It is like Lori's saying, it's dry and heavy for me. It is absolutely dry and heavy. That's what it is. Jan's saying, I have it, can't use it during summer because it feels so heavy. See, it's not you, it's the formula. Okay. It's like a makeup artist staple formula. I feel like almost every makeup artist has it in their bag, but it sometimes requires manipulation. And if you don't know how to manipulate it, it can be tricky.
Okay. And you're going to teach us how to manipulate it?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to teach you.
Okay.
It's the easiest way ever. So I have it here on my palette. Okay. Now what you can do is there's lots of different ways. You can do a liquid highlighter like what I just did, right? Like a skin filter. The easiest way, guys, is to use a little moisturizer. Okay. You add a little moisturizer to it. And you take this is my favorite foundation brush. It's BK116. I love that it's rounded. I love the size. I love the density. When you start to mix it, you're basically manipulating the formula into like a tinted moisturizer, but more full coverage. So the way that I do it is I always start the application. I'm going to get closer, you guys. You got to see my imperfections to see how this works. I start it on the center of the face, and I like using stippling motions for a formula like this because it is a higher density formula. I find that it doesn't blend well when you are just like smearing it all over because it's higher density. So when you have a higher density formula like this, there's two ways to apply it for it to look perfect. The first way is to use a dense brush like the BK116 and stipple, stipple, stipple. Another way to apply a denser formula is with a wet beauty blender. So I ran this through water, open and close, wrung out the water. So it's super squishy. So you can see the difference between, I only have a baby one, the little baby one. But look at how this is hard. This is hard, right? This is super soft. So you can only use you can't only use a beauty blender wet because it's makeup. There are no rules. A beauty blender works much better for foundation application when it is soft and damp. So as you can see, just by manipulating that formula, I created a much more sheer, kind of glowier, softer finish that is much easier to wear than the original formula on its own. Now, if you want to take this up a notch, when you are blending it into the skin, say this is too dry for you, okay? It's not for me because nothing is too dry for me because my skin is horribly, annoyingly oily. But say it is for you, okay? This is a setting spray for dry skin, okay? You can shake it up. I'm not going to do it because I'll turn into like, it will be bad. But I'll wet my beauty blender with this formula and I'm going to infuse moisture into it. Now, because I am so oily, what I would do instead is use the D-Slick, take my setting spray. So instead of just having this wet with water, you want to have it wet with setting spray. Start doing this. You'll never, ever do it another way again. So make sure it's wet with water, then wet it with setting spray and push the foundation into the face with the setting spray. So you're basically shearing out the foundation with not only moisturizer, but with setting spray, and you're making it long wear. So now you have a much softer foundation application, but it's one that lasts really long. A problem with having sheer foundation, and this is something I see a lot of people are like, it's so hot and humid, I want a really sheer formula foundation. Sheer formulas do not last. Okay. And I think that there's a misconception with that. Like the hotter and the more humid, I want something really natural, like a tinted moisturizer. A tinted moisturizer in hot, humid weather is going to last you 10 minutes. That's it. And that's fine if you don't care. Like if you don't care if you have coverage, it doesn't bother you, that's fine. But I would often have brides, right, on hot, humid summer days being like, I want a really sheer finish. I'm like, you're going to look terrible in your pictures because that's not going to last. You need full coverage on hot, humid days, not light coverage. So a way to get around that is to use something that's long wearing, but then shear it out so it's a lighter texture, but you still have the long wearing benefits, and then push it into the skin with something that's going to make it wear longer. So that's like a little trick that I used a lot, and it works. Like, look at how nice that looks. I don't have concealer on. I need concealer. I need brightness, but you can see how beautiful it looks just by doing that.
Yeah.
And then if you have, say you have areas where you need more coverage. So you do that on your entire face, start from the inside, work your way out, shear it out into the jawline and the hairline. And then say you have areas where you're like, yeah, but I have a lot of broken capillaries in my cheeks. I see that a lot in, especially over 45, you start to get sun damage and broken capillaries kind of popping up. You can then take the formula that's not sheared out, but you're staying away from nasolabial, you're staying away from crow's feet, you're staying away from, God forbid, under the eyes. Do not put this formula under the eyes. It's way too heavy. If you have, I don't have any like deeper wrinkles on my forehead because I get Botox, but when my Botox wears off and I start getting those stagnant lines that stay, you want to stay away from that, because anything that has divots, it's going to like migrate into the divots and then you're going to get a crease. But if you have areas that don't have creasing but have pigmentation issues, you can take the full formula without dilating it. You can apply it, like I have a little bit of discoloration here. You can apply the full formula in those areas that don't have skin divots, okay? That are the plumper areas. Take that beauty blender, spray it with your setting spray, and then push into those areas. So you have kind of a sheer finish everywhere, and then you can manipulate by using the fuller, non-sheared out finish in those plumper areas. And by doing that, you will get perfect, flawless finish that doesn't have creasing issues, that will last all day long, instead of like a tinted moisturizer or a tinted serum. People love tinted serums, including me. But you're not going to get perfect wear all day in hot, humid climate with a tinted serum. I'm telling you right now, you won't. It just won't last that long. So I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, because that looks so pretty on you. I'm just sitting here going, I need to like wash my face and start over with my makeup, because your skin looks so pretty with those layers you've just put on. It looks gorgeous.
And it doesn't feel heavy. I'm telling you, it really doesn't.
Yeah, no, it looks beautiful. Now, Sherry had a question, what is a good dupe for the Estee Lauder foundation? And I was thinking about this while you were doing your makeup, Gabby. I'd love to hear what you think. I have really found that the e.l.f. Soft Glam, have you tried that? It's a little, you have to add just a little bit of glow to it, I think, because it dries down to be more of a not matte. It's a soft glam, so it's a natural finish, I would say. It's not glowy, not dewy, not radiant. It's natural. I would say that's the one I would recommend as a dupe for the Estee Lauder Double Wear. But what do you think, Gabby? Do you have one?
Yeah, there was one that I used forever that was quite similar. It was the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear.
Mm.
That is very, very similar in texture. It's a little bit, it's a it I shouldn't say it's similar in texture. It's similar in finish, but it's a little bit of a smoother text. Like this goes on quite viscous. Like if I put it on my palette and I go like this, it doesn't like run all over the place. It's quite viscous. Whereas L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear, it's got a much runnier finish, but it lasts like forever, just like this. Actually, you guys, if you like this foundation, but you're like Jody and you're like, you feel like it settles or like it's too heavy, you should try that one. That's an amazing foundation and it's not quite as heavy, but it's super long wear. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Could you
right.
could you blend foundation, moisturizer, and Lumi, then set with the sponge/setting spray? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that Lumi Glotion is great to have on hand for anything. So yeah, definitely could throw that in the mix and give a nice glowy finish to the skin. And then with the
Yeah.
setting spray, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm telling you, when you start doing this stuff, you guys will never go back. Like buy a mixing palette for real. You're gonna become you'll like get obsessed. It's so fun. You can do so many different things with like just a few products.
Well, and that's the whole point of this video, which I loved about it, is just share different ideas to just go back instead of feeling like now after this live, you want to go buy new products. No, go back to your makeup drawer, go back to your vanity and like dig out what you have and start playing with it from a fresh perspective. It just changes the whole ball game. You guys are going to look great tomorrow, whatever you're doing. Everyone around you is going to be like, woo, what are you doing different than your makeup today?
I know there's this amazing creator that I follow who does fashion content, and her name's Alyssa Bell Tempo. Lori, can you pop that up here? You guys should follow Alyssa too. She's an amazing creator. I met her in Toronto at a YouTube event, and she's all about like shopping inside your closet. So instead of adding so much fabric and so much waste to the world and so much shipping and excessive buying and buying and buying, which is the beauty community is brutal for. Like we are just like product pushers, you know? Instead of doing that, like what she teaches is to look in your closet and shop in your closet. Think outside the box. How can I combine this with this and really curate a closet where you don't have to buy all this stuff? You can just mix and match. And so Alyssa had me on, she does these webinars. She had me on to teach a little portion of the webinar. And I attended her webinar and learned it was actually like really mind blowing. I'm like, oh my God, I never thought about that, like different ways to combine pieces. And so I started thinking like, how can we combine makeup? Because it's true, like every minute there's a new release. We feel like we need all of it. And you don't need all of it because you can create it with the stuff you already have, and it's better for the environment. It's better for your pockets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, that takes me to the next product then that I want to share. And this will seem like an obvious one, you guys, but I take it a step farther to say, when I go to buy eyeshadow palettes now, I think about what else can I do with the eyeshadow palette, because I just got sick and tired of having palettes that were $30 to $70 and only using a few of the colors. So, and that you use whatever palette you want, but just be thinking about when you go to purchase one, does it have enough variety in it to do a lot of different things that you would put powder on your face for? So for example, this new one by Sigma is called Sigma Spectrum. And I love it because when you look at this palette, I can create a lot of different eyeshadow looks with it for sure. But I can also there's bronzing colors in here. There's contour colors in here. There's highlighter colors in here. There's blush colors on backwards. There's colors for blush in this palette. So it's not heavy. It easily goes into your suitcase or in your drawer. I love this Nikki LaRose. This is her N14 brush. It's a small, fluffy brush. I use this one a lot because it allows me to use my eyeshadow palettes for contour, for example. So today I don't have on any contour. I don't have any blush, or I do have blush. I don't have any bronzer. So with a small, fluffy brush like this, you can easily just pick up whatever eyeshadow you want and then use it for something else. So for me, I like to contour this part of my face because as I've gotten older, my hair is a little bit more receding. and I just feel like my forehead's gotten bigger, and I like to do a little contour. So I don't like to have to go purchase a contour as well as a bronzer and then a blush. So it just got me thinking about how I purchase my eyeshadow palettes now. And I look for some that offer more variety in the way I can use it. So I can do my eyeshadow with this one. I could do my eyebrows with this if I wanted. You can see down here, there's highlighters where I can do a little bit of highlight. Again, I can use my blush. There's blush colors over here. I can highlight my brow bone with that one. So I thought, I was with my sister this weekend and she opened up her travel bag and had like 6 different things. And I thought, gosh, I must not have even taught my own sister this yet. So let me bring this out, because I think we get caught up in the nice shiny colors of an eyeshadow palette and oftentimes forget what else that can do for us. So they're just really easy. I use the contour. I'm going to grab that same brush, just clean it quickly. And let's go with some highlight. Let's just add a little bit of highlight. I already added some blush, but I didn't add any highlight yet today. And we'll just add, yeah, a little bit through there. I mean, that's the obvious one. We all know we can use eyeshadow for highlighter. But just, I would encourage you that when you think about, gosh, do I really want to spend that on a palette? If you can find one that has enough shades to do 4 or 5 different things on your face besides your eyes, then it breaks this down to be a lot more cost effective. And also it's a lot less space in wherever you're putting all of your makeup. So I love this. I've stopped buying, eyeshadow palettes because they have those 2 or 3 really cool colors. Instead, I'll go buy those as the single and just buy a palette that offers much more variety in the different colors that it has, so that I can use it for a lot of different things on my face. The powders are very much the same. And then just find yourself a smaller brush like this. And again, this is the Nikki LaRose by BK Beauty in N14. Love this brush. Love this brush.
I love that brush too.
Yeah.
I love that brush too. I had this amazing makeup teacher when I went to makeup school like 5 million years ago. Her name was Barb. And she would always say this in makeup class, and I didn't really know what she meant at the time. And now I think about it all the time. She would say, a powder's a powder's a powder. Because we'd say, well, we can't use that because it's an eyeshadow. And she's like, what do you mean? A powder's a powder. Who cares? Just because it's small and marketed as an eyeshadow, it's exactly the same as a bronzer or a contour or an eyeshadow. You know what I mean? It can be all of the things.
Yeah.
So when you said that, it actually reminded me, because I was, like I said, I was away in Oregon last week, and I was with all beauty creator friends, right? You'd think that I would bring all of the things for all of the looks. All I brought was this. Look at how well loved this is. It's like falling apart. This is a Smashbox Cali contour. This is a contour palette. It's not even an eyeshadow palette, but this is my blush. This is my bronzer. This is my contour. This is a highlighter, but it's actually a sparkly eyeshadow. It's what I'm wearing today. So it's my illuminating eyeshadow. This I use on my crease. I oftentimes, almost always actually, you guys, if you ever see, I dip here into my blush, I pop it out, and then I put my blush on. This is the most perfect blush color for me because it's mauve-y, which is really nice for medium skin tones. Then I take even my N14, which is a little bit wider, so it will create more of a diffusion. I'll dip into that same color, pop it off, and I'll windshield wipe it here and kind of bring it out. Do you see that? So what I'm doing is I'm basically connecting. Oh, I'm hitting my microphone. You guys can hear me okay?
Yeah.
I'm basically connecting this transition into the blush, which brings like harmony to the face really quick. So I do this almost every time I finish a makeup look, even on a client. When I'm all done and I've done this beautiful eye, I'll bring my blush, whatever I used. I'll take a big brush that's really diffused, like it blasts color in a diffused way, and I'll bring it into the crease. Even if I have a crease contour color on there already, I'll just manipulate the tone a little bit so then it all of a sudden goes really well with the cheek. So don't be afraid. Like, that's a brilliant suggestion from Jody. Like, take that palette and then you have your contour. You have one thing in your makeup bag instead of 10 that you need to travel with. It's great.
Yeah. And it's so light and easy. And yeah. And what's that one called that you just showed? Because I love those colors. It was a Smashbox one.
Yes, I've never used a palette more in my life. This is, if I travel, it's the only thing I bring. It's the Cali Contour Shape Bronze and Glow. So it's just a contour palette. So you get so your warm tone, this tone is your bronzer tone. This tone is your contour tone. This is your highlight tone, but it also looks amazing on the eyelid when you want to pop it forward, especially on hooded eyes. This is your blush tone, and you have 2 highlighters. This is for the medium skin tone range, but you can also buy it for a light skin tone range, and I believe also a deep skin tone range where the colors are a little different. So for the lighter skin tone range, your blush will be a little pinkier, less mauvey. It's amazing, amazing. You can literally do, not to encourage you to buy more products, that's not the point of this live.
Right.
But it's like, it's just what you had. It's the thing that does all of the things in like a
Right.
really easy way.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And
yeah.
I know it's changed the way I think about buying eyeshadow palettes now, as I look at it for my eye makeup, but then I think, can it do anything else? And if the answer is no, then I just don't move forward with the purchase. I really want to get more out of it.
It's so true. I almost never buy eyeshadow palettes anymore.
Yeah.
And Deanna's saying a good bronzer makes an amazing eyeshadow too. 100%. This bronzer, this one again, I'm not product pushing. I'm just saying the Charlotte Tilbury, it's a cream bronzer. This works so well as the base of a smoky eye because it's creamy and it's got that perfect, really bronzy tone. It works like a cream shadow, and then you can build on top of it by adding other shadow colors and making like a really bronzy, smoky eye. So if you
Love
guys are anything from this live, it's to like shop your stash and start manipulating. You'll
100%.
create so many cool looks.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any more tips?
The last one I have is, if you guys have seen there's a new product by Charlotte Tilbury. It's a lip liner, and it's called a dual lip liner. And it's a lip liner on one side, and then the other side is like a darker one to contour the lips. And it was like $24. And I'm like, that's crazy, because all it was a lip liner with a darker one. I love, if you've got a skin tone that's similar to mine, I love this one it's called MAC. It's a MAC one, obviously, but it's called Teddy. It's called MAC, Jody. It is Teddy by MAC. And I like this one because I use it as my eyebrows in a pinch. And I sometimes like to go a little darker with my eyebrows. So this works great for that. It also works good for my eyeliner. But the best part about this specific shade is you'll see my lips like plump up instantly. This makes a fantastic contour to the lips. So think about how you used to line your lips with lip liner. The new look, if you will, is a contour to the lips, because the idea is that you give a shadow behind your lip because your lip is plumped. So without going to buy a separate contour, which Charlotte Tilbury now sells, you just simply take a lighter brown or a taupe eyeliner pencil and just lightly go outside your lips, but not where you put lip liner, a little bit farther out. And then you go and blend it, and it just gives the nicest little plumpness, because again, it makes it look as though your lip is so big, it's creating its own shadow. And when you blend it with your finger like that, it just it softens it so it's not an obvious. And don't forget to do that part, because otherwise you'll go outside and it'll look like you just drank a Coke or something, just let this terrible line crush your mouth. You don't want that. So the whole point is, the new dual pencils from Charlotte Tilbury are really cool, and I like them. However, if you want to get used to the look, to see, gosh, is that a look I'm going to like? Just grab your brown eyeliner pencil and just really softly go outside the lip and then soften it. And then you can apply your lip liner like you would normally, and your lipstick or your lip gloss, your lip oil, whatever lip product you use, because there's like 50 million of them on the market right now. And there you go. Ta-da, instant lip plumper without the sting of some of those lip plumpers that you get. But just take your brown eyeliner and do something different with it on the lips.
Oh, I love that so much. That is awesome. You guys can do the same exact trick with bronzer too. The same exact trick that she just said. So it's one of my favorite tricks, and you would be shocked as to how good it is. See, if you even take a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, I'm using the 03 by Refer. You can contour out right here. You know, so if you don't have an eyeliner for whatever reason, you guys see that? You can contour out right here and you're going to create a shadow. Sometimes it's a little more effective to do this with a cool toned liner or product like a contour, but you'll still get a really good look. Do you see how? Do you see
Yeah.
how I just created a shadow right here?
Yeah. It's such an
Mhm.
optical illusion, but it's so effective.
I know it's wild. And you can do it sometimes on set. I'll do it to my model's top lip too. But you have to be careful with bronzer because you can go into mustache territory really quick. That one's better to do with the pencil. The pencil, you can't
Slippery
go into
slope.
mustache territory. Yeah. I'm going to get a comment tomorrow. I did it. My husband said I had a mustache. All right. You guys, this was literally so much fun.
Yeah, I cannot believe an hour has flown by already. I could just keep going forever. So, yeah, I learned so much from you today, Gabby.
Oh my gosh, I learned so much from you too. I really did. Those were like awesome suggestions. I'm gonna buy that brown brow mascara. I need it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yay, Jody just subbed. Love Nikki LaRose. Yeah, she's an angel. She's a doll. Jody, you've earned a subscribe from me. You are speaking our language.
Aw. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you spending time with us today and letting me come on the screen and share some ideas. And yeah, I'd love to visit with all of you. So this was so awesome that you guys showed up for us today.
Absolutely. So you guys don't forget to go and check out her channel. She's got some amazing videos. I'm going to pin it in the pinned comment. Go give her some love, go subscribe. And if you guys want, if you comment under the video, maybe we can do another one soon.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah, so leave us some comments. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
And I'll fly down there and do your makeup. Not that you need any help.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I would love that. Wouldn't you guys love to see that? We would totally film that. That would be awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Antonia, Jan, thanks you guys. Thanks for all
Yeah.
your support. Well, we'll catch you in the next one. Jody, you have to say with me, this video's over with your
This
little finger.
okay.
Ready?
Yep. This
This
video
video's over.
over.
Bye, guys.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.